schools.
And one of the things that Pratt did as soon as he became the superintendent of that school was to transform it into a prison-like setting with very large fences. There was a guardhouse, there was a jail there to place the children. There were dormitories that were set up very military-like. In fact, the whole atmosphere was much that of a prison, the prison that he had known before as a warden. And he began his control. As he had tried to control the American Indian prisoners of war, he tried to control the Indian children at the Carlisle Indian Industrial School.
When children arrived at the Carlisle Indian School, especially the very first groups to come who came directly from their traditional communities and who had not had previous schooling experiences, their hair was cut short, and they were put into uniform and organized into military regiments or battalions, and they went through the process of acculturation in a way that stripped them of everything native.
They lost their native names, they lost their languages, their clothes were taken away from them. All of the medicine that they had brought with them, the foods that they had brought with them, that was put aside as inferior and not to be used at the school.
And it wasn't just that they removed those things, but those things were actually burned as sort of a public spectacle, sort of a burning away of their old way of life.
Pratt used the analogy of Christian baptism in describing this process. He said, we'd like to take these children and hold them under until they are thoroughly soaked. And when they come out, they will be so-called civilized.
Most devastating of all, their language was forbidden them, and they were given new Christian names. So their entire identity was compromised and stolen from them.
I didn't know any other language. So whenever I talk, it came out. Cree would come out, and whenever I talk, I get hit. I got hit so much I lost my tongue. I lost my native tongue. The only thing I remember was my Indian name. Which is Xenuki, means old man eagle. That's the only Cree I knew.
Kill the Indian and save the man. The goal of removal to this government institution was to oversee and control every aspect of these children's lives, to eliminate their native language, dress them in white man's clothes, feed them white man's food, and educate them to a level of menial servitude. It was a complete eradication of their culture, of who they were.
The students were taken under the control of these newcomers, these foreigners who intended from the very beginning to tell them how to do every aspect of their life. And there were all of these rules, and then attached to the rules was punishment.
The restrictions and punishments that were meted out in these boarding schools were more than just mere disciplinary actions. They were often methods of humiliation for these students.
Numerous times they put on this big old white, big huge white comb, put on there as a dunce. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know English. They put it on me, make me wear it all over. Kids would laugh at me.
You could have your mouth washed out with soap. You could be spanked with a cat of nine tails. You could be stuffed in a closet, in a dark closet, for periods of time. And some people seem to enjoy meting out these kind of punishments more than others. And they seem to do that with impunity. In other words, There was no retributions for their behavior.
And Hawa said unto me, Go yet love a woman beloved of her friend and an adulteress, even as Hawa loves the children of Israel, though they turn unto other powers, and love cakes of raisins. So I bought her unto me for 15 pieces of silver, a half homer of barley, and said, You shall not play the harlot, you shall sit solitary many days. Like that, and you know it's like that. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. Like that, and you know it's like that. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our quota, we gon' take our land back. Like that. Like that in Inglewood, the game is digital. The war is spiritual, a Naga need a miracle. Who knew a miracle would come when we just listened to you? Now we hysterical, cause we didn't think your words to be true. Be the head and not the tail is what you taught us to do. Chase the tail, become the tail, what a Naga gon' do? Pull the trigger, slay the nigga with an attitude. Instagram, Twitter, feeding us the bomb with no fuse. We the copper Indians and Moroccans and Hebrews. It's time to man up and stand up and rock in our shoes. We the Abyssinians, the mixed multitude. We the real life Nagas with an attitude. Switch the story up, they speaking in the allegory. Slavery and land invasion, that ain't half story. The morning star, the star that's asleep I'm mourning. More and more war buried us in solitary. And Hawa said unto me, The children of Israel shall return, and shall sit solitary many days, without a Khan, without a prince, without sacrifice. Afterwards Israel will return, seek Hawa their power, and David their time, and shall come to Hawa in the end of days. Hawa pop off and drop off whoever necessary, and slay the hijack, especially these mercenaries. Traffic stops, killing cops, got Nagas driving scary. We're doing 60 on the freeway just to see our family. We're rolling 60 for Bro Nipsey and the Wood family. We're hitting 60 on the PJ for the royal family. We press their up, battle up with Ether Pack's family. Shabbat vibes in the tribe don't mean we that friendly. Fuck the internet, we moving to the library. Find a drop on how to stop familiar adversaries. Choosing up, drop or die like it's honorary. Cop shot my homeboy like it was customary. trying to shoot a child and yelled he had an open carry. He was carried off by 6 last February. Fuck Corona, man, we sicker than the coronary. American 1828 dictionary. And I said unto her, thou shalt sit solitary for me many days. Thou shalt not play the harlot. Thou shalt not be any man's wife, nor will I be thine. For the children of Israel will return, see Kawa and Kandawi, and shall come trembling unto Hawa and his goodness in the end of land. Like that, if you know it's like that. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back. Like that, and you know it's like that. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back. We gon' keep our code and we gon' take our land back like that.